All right, let's get into it. If you're using a powerful framework like OpenClaw, you've heard the big promise, right? That it can basically replace your entire workflow. And look, we are not talking about just another chatbot here. We're talking about building a specialized team of AI agents that work for you 24/7, remember everything you tell them, and do it all for a tiny fraction of what a human team would cost. But let's be real, here's the problem a lot of us run into. We get these amazing tools all set up, and they just feel, well, like a really expensive chatbot. It gets bloated, its focus starts to drift, it hallucinates, and it just doesn't seem to live up to that massive potential. You end up burning a lot of cash without seeing the results you were hoping for. So that's what we're going to tackle right now. We are going to completely shift that perspective. We're not just going to be prompting a single AI anymore. We're going to build an intelligent, self-healing team. It's all about moving from one single overwhelmed agent to a whole collaborative system of specialists. And this, right here, this is the ultimate goal. The whole point is to set up an infrastructure that lets your AI run on true autopilot. This isn't about you having to constantly check in and supervise it. It's about creating a system that manages itself and in the process saves you an incredible amount of time and money. Okay, so before we can build this AI dream team, we have to lay the right foundation. This is all about making the system efficient and smart from the absolute beginning because, trust me, a smart setup leads to some pretty massive savings down the line. So the first huge mistake that a lot of people make is right here. They use one giant, super expensive AI model for absolutely everything. The much smarter way to do it is with a tiered strategy. You use different models for different tasks, just like you'd build a human team with different skills. And here's exactly what that looks like in practice. For simple, quick chats, you use something cheap and fast, like Gemini Flash. For good quality content writing, a mid-tier model like Claude Sonnet is perfect. And then you save the big gun, the most powerful and most expensive model like Claude Opus, only for the really tough stuff, like coding, complex reasoning, or building out automations. And the takeaway here is huge. Just by using this tiered strategy, you can slash your costs on day-to-day AI tasks by up to 90%. I mean, that is a massive saving. It's what makes this entire system actually sustainable in the long run. All right, the second piece of our foundation is a really simple but powerful instruction you give your AI. It's the figure it out directive. So instead of you having to hold its hand through every little problem, this one instruction tells the AI to be autonomous. It forces it to go research the docs, to try and reverse engineer solutions, and to test out a few different approaches before it ever comes back to you for help. This saves so much time. So how does this all come together? Now that we've got a cost-effective and autonomous foundation, it's finally time to build our team. And we're going to think of it as architecting an AI orchestra, a whole system of specialized agents all working together in perfect harmony. And the reason this whole orchestra concept is so important is because if you just try to do everything in the main chat with a single agent, things get messy fast. The context window gets bloated, the agent starts to drift off topic, and it's way more likely to hallucinate or just make stuff up. You end up having to constantly restart the chat just to keep it on track. It's inefficient. The solution to this is something called the Orchestrator Pattern. Think of it like this. You have one top-level manager agent. This manager doesn't actually do any of the work itself. Its only job is to understand the skills of its team members. These are the specialized sub-agents, and then delegate the right task to the right agent. So how do we actually build this thing? Well, it all comes down to 4 key configuration files. First, you've got the soul, which is like the agent's brain. It defines its identity and core rules. Next is the agents file, which is basically the manager's team directory. Then you have the tools file, which is the toolbox that gives each agent its specific skills. And finally, the memory file, which creates that long-term shared knowledge that just keeps growing over time. This quote, and this is taken directly from an orchestrator's brain file, it just says it all. The orchestrator's #1 rule is that it's a router, a coordinator, not a doer. Its job is to figure out which sub-agent is needed for a task, give it clear instructions, and then report the results back to you. That's it. Now, here's a really important pro tip for keeping things efficient. Your specialized sub-agents, like, say, one that creates carousels or another that writes threads, they don't need to know about the entire team. So you don't give them the agents file. You only give them the specific soul, tools, and memory they need for their one job. This cuts down on processing costs, and honestly, it just prevents a lot of confusion. Okay, so we've set up a cost-effective foundation, we've built an intelligent team. Now for the magic, putting it all on autopilot. This is where we start activating scheduled jobs that literally run your business operations for you, automatically. The tool that makes this happen is called cron jobs. Now I know it sounds a little technical, but the concept is actually super simple. A cron job is just a task that you schedule to run automatically at a specific time, like every single morning at 7 a.m., or maybe every Sunday night. This is how you get to that real set it and forget it level of automation. Let's look at a few real-world examples. You can literally set up a daily to-do list for your AI team. So at 7 a.m., it sends you a morning briefing right to your Telegram. At midnight, it logs all the day's progress into Notion. And then every night, it automatically backs up its own configuration files to GitHub so you never, ever lose your work. And that morning briefing, it's an absolute game changer. You wake up and there's a message waiting that tells you exactly what your AI team got done yesterday, what its top priorities are for today, and, this is the best part, a list of any pending decisions where it just needs a simple yes or no from you. It keeps you in the loop without ever bogging you down in the details. But believe it or not, it gets even more powerful than that. Imagine getting an automated weekly report that is actively, quote, pinpointing viral moments before they happen. This isn't science fiction. This is a real cron job that can automate high-level strategic work for you. I mean, just look at what this report delivers completely on its own. It's analyzing conversations across social media to find you top-tier content ideas. It's identifying your audience's pain points and finding opportunities for new lead magnets. It even gives you a full execution strategy for the best idea it finds. This is your AI team acting as a world-class marketing strategist while you sleep. So, there you have it. By moving from a simple chatbot to a fully orchestrated team, and by putting that team on autopilot, you've unlocked the true power of this technology. The system is built. The team is ready to work for you 24/7. So, the only question left is, what's their first assignment?